to another video. It's the T on MPD and relationships. Hello, everyone, to all of my new subscribers and new family members. Hello, hi, welcome. And to my tribe and family at large, welcome back. Thank you all so much, fam, for coming back and watching another video. Family, listen, I want y'all to help a sister out, okay? Y'all know I'm always admonishing you to please hit that like button. Y'all, listen, y'all don't know how much that helps me. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you know of someone that can use this information, okay, be sure to share it. Share it out. If you have your own social media platform, share it out. You know, get the word out about what's happening, you know, in this community. And we're talking about narcissism, you know, and narcissistic abuse from a spiritual perspective, which is something that you cannot get typically from cognitive therapist, you know, that they're bound by the Hippocratic Oath. So they can't go in those spaces unless a patient takes them there or a client takes them there. So this is a blessing to be able to understand it from a spiritual perspective and do, you know, I do throw a little bit of humor in there sometimes. And, you know, y'all know how I get down. All right. So y'all hit that like button for me. Okay. And also too, if you would like to have a signed copy, an autographed copy of the book, Seduced by Satan, please email me, theteaonnpd, coaching@gmail.com. And I will be sure to get you the link to pay for the book, and then we'll get your address so we can send it out to you, okay? Also, those of you that are in need of a life coach, I am accepting new coaching clients at this time. So please email me, theteaonnpd, coaching@gmail.com. All right, y'all. Let's get into the topic of this video. Woo, y'all. Okay. We're going to talk about this, how narcissistic abuse, okay, what part of your body is most affected by narcissistic abuse. And y'all gonna really want to listen up in this video, okay? It's very sad that there is a type of abuse that literally will do a person like this, okay? And when I say like this, I'm talking about leave you in the state that some of you all were in. And I know if you can get in that comment section and tell your story, we will all be like, wait, what? You know what I'm saying? Wait, what happened again? So I want to talk about it because I think it's important for us to understand that not only is it not good for us mentally, but narcissistic abuse is not healthy for you physically. And the mental situation, once it starts to break down, that's usually the first thing that comes under attack, you know, when you are dealing with a narcissist. And so your mental health begins to become affected by this abuse, okay? And then after that, the body is going to soon to follow. Because have y'all ever heard the term or have ever heard the saying, if you cut the head off, the body will scatter? You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying that's a saying, you know, just like, you know, when people are in organizations, you know, and it's an organized type thing. Maybe it's a regime or something like that. If the leader is basically taken away, you know what I'm saying, for from that particular organization or whatever it is, regime, then a lot of times if they don't have a person secondary in line, which most of the time they do, then, you know, the whole organization just begins to crumble, you know. So that's kind of how it is with narcissistic abuse. You know, it's whenever your mind becomes affected by a thing, then you have to really look at what's going on there, because it starts in the mind and then it gets right out to your physical body. But the mind is one of the things that's being targeted, and that's another video. But the what happens most, or what's affected, and it causes people to just simply break down, is something that we all have, and sometimes we don't pay a close enough attention to it. You know, we don't pay close enough attention to how our bodies are responding in that situation. And if you think back when you were with that narcissist and that bird had you rocking and reeling, and every other day you arguing, you know, you just going to get in an argument with them about something. Narcissists love to argue. You know, they want to be combative. They really do want to stay in that space. It's a space of negativity. It's what they're used to. Okay. It's what they thrive in. Okay. So that's basically it. However, going back to, you know, you're part of the body that's affected the most. And this is why people end up in the hospital. You know, they end up sometimes developing terminal illnesses behind narcissistic abuse. I'm talking about illnesses that never existed in the bloodline. You know, we are talking about sexually transmitted demons, okay, spirits. And so these narcissists come into your life, and into mine too, because it happened to me too. They come into your life and they begin to, within weeks, begin to control everything in your life, including you, right? And so you're trying to accommodate this individual. You know, you want to think that this is your person. And because of what a lot of times we were missing growing up, you know, and didn't understand that we needed. And then we get out here and we begin to date, and, you know, in the dating pool, all that kind of stuff, you know, especially if you're not a young person, if you're not like in your 20s or whatever like that. Even if you are, you know, I'm getting clients younger and younger these days that are dealing with narcissists. I'm talking about in their mid to late 20s. You know what I'm saying? They are really going through it. So this thing doesn't have an age attached to it. I mean, it can run the gamut, you know, from 20 on up to whatever age. But you know, you get into it with these individuals, especially when you're in your late 30s, 40s, 50s. You know, this is a whole different game. You know, especially if you're over 50, you know, you don't want to be with somebody that's going to get on your nerves. Especially if you are self-sufficient, you don't have to be bothered. You know, you could take care of yourself. I mean, what you want to invite a person that's going to get on your nerves. I'm talking about your reserve nerve. Yeah, the one that you were saving for yourself. Okay, that one right there. That bird will get on your reserve nerve. Okay, and so you will be sitting there looking like, why in the world am I doing this? So, you know, you begin to quickly make an evaluation. A lot of times y'all get rid of folk. You know, it just ain't working. But if you're not familiar, or, you know, if this is something new, you're just learning about narcissistic abuse, baby, let me tell you something. This thing ain't nobody's joke, okay? It's not. Yeah, it's nobody's joke. So as you get older, as you mature in life, you know, you have to be mindful of your mind. You know, you got to take care of your total being. You know what I'm saying? Your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit, everything. You know, you have to be very cognizant of the people that you are allowing into your life. You know, you have to be very cognizant of, you know, what you're doing, how you're doing it, you know, making sure you have a proper diet. Well, that includes your physical and mental health as well. So, all of that being said, what the body part that is most affected, okay, I'm not saying that the mind is not affected, because that is where it begins. However, whenever you are dealing with these birds, baby, these backwards walking giraffes for an extended period of time, let me tell you something. The main part of your body that is going to absolutely feel the effects, and it's going to bear the weight of this abuse, Your central nervous system. Booyah! Right there. Your central nervous system. I want y'all to go do some research on your central nervous system. Your central nervous system, listen, it's harnessed by your spine, okay? That is where all of the nerves are intertwined. You know, the bony vertebrae that goes down your back, okay? Nerves are connected there and sent out to every part of the body, okay? Now, why are we saying, or why am I saying that it's your central nervous system? Well, first of all, your nerves are responsible for touch. Okay, how do you know that you're something is maybe giving you pain, or basically you've touched something that's too hot or whatever on your fingertips, right? Or your arm, whatever. Nerves, okay? Nerves extend to every part of your body. When you have a headache, okay, there are nerves that run all through your brain, you're in every part of your body. Whenever you are in, and I'm going to just break it down. Whenever you are in pain or you have some type of headache, any type of ache in your body, the receptors, your nervous system, your central nervous system receptors are sending signals off because that area is affected and it has nerves and it's communicating to your brain, hey, I'm in pain, all of that kind of stuff. Guess what happens? When you are in that type of pain, I just got to break it down because I got to show y'all what happens in narcissistic abuse. When you're in that type of pain, and your doctor gives you some type of pain medication, or maybe you go and take what they call maybe ibuprofen or Tylenol. But let's just say for the sake of maybe you have some acute pain somewhere. I mean, it's bad. And they had to put you on a prescription for pain medicine, take care of the pain or whatever for maybe a short period of time. Sometimes it may be an extended period of time. And so whenever that happens, that pain medicine doesn't necessarily go and fix the place, okay, what that's paining you or that's giving you, causing you this pain. What it does is that pain medication goes and blocks the receptors in your brain and basically blocks that from feeling the pain. All of that is circulated through your central nervous system. Y'all, listen, we going to school this morning. All of that. So when you are with an abusive individual, not only is your mental affected by it, but your central nervous system is affected by this abuse so much so that you begin to basically, it's sad, y'all. You begin to basically break down, okay? Remember, nerves go all throughout your body. You're waking up at night. You can't sleep. You're pacing the floor. You're overthinking all the time. All of these things are affected by your central nervous system is affected by all of this. And it's communicating, it's working in tandem, of course, with your brain. But all of the nerves in your body are literally set on edge. What does that cause? That causes you to have anxiety. A lot of times it causes major depression. It causes a lot of different things. Some people have even said to me, listen, I developed an autoimmune disease dealing with this, this individual. Y'all, I'm going to tell y'all something. Yeah, I'm going to tell y'all something. It is absolutely crazy what happens. And so dealing with all of this stress and your nervous system being set on edge like that, you know what happens? And this is the sad part about it. What ends up happening is your body becomes so overloaded. Your central nervous system becomes so overloaded. You can't handle the stress. You can't handle all of the pain that the narcissist is doling out, because whether you notice or not, your vessel was created to praise God. It was not created to be in this type of stress and strife and pain and things like that. And it becomes very difficult for you to handle because your central nervous system is all thrown off. Okay, everything is thrown off. So you begin to now have, a lot of times people have talked about having heart palpitations, all of this. And then not only that, but heart attacks and strokes. Okay. And some people have literally been unalived because their body, beginning with the mind, but then the whole central nervous system has been affected by this abuse to the degree that the body just couldn't handle it anymore. Okay. And these people they have basically, their lives were held ransom. You know what I'm saying? By this abuse. This is sad, y'all. But yeah, they have literally expired, passed away because of the pain, because of all of the things that these individuals do to you. Don't let it happen to you, fam. I'm breaking it down and explaining it because I want y'all to understand that your central nervous system is something that has to be cared for. Because when your nerves are toe up, baby, what you gonna do? I'm just saying. All right, family. So listen, y'all take really good care of yourselves. All right. And I will definitely see you all on the next video. And I will see you all healed and whole at the top, family. I love you, fam. Shalom. Peace.